showing you guys what I believe to be the best settings in Apex Legends. Yes guys, we're back. Finally, we're in Apex Legends Season 8, and I actually want to kick off the season by showing you guys what I believe to be the best settings in Apex Legends, not only for an increase in quality of your gameplay, but also an increase in FPS, so performance as well, and your experience in-game. But yeah, before I do guys, I should mention quickly, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, as it would help me out right now a lot. And please do also drop a like, that would also help me out right now a lot. But yeah, without further ado guys, let's get into it. What I believe to be the best settings for Apex Legends as of Season 8. So firstly, let's start off with gameplay, interact prompt style. Of course, if you've been playing the game for a while, you don't really want to have this on because it basically displays the information about the items and, you know, loot on the ground, which of course you don't need on if you've been playing the game for a while. Similarly with button hints, again, if you've built up that muscle memory and you know what each button does and you've been playing the game for a while, you can have this off. Crosshair damage feedback, I use X with the shield icon because not only is that the damage indicators and it shows me when my shots are actually registering on the target, it actually shows the shield level as well, so I find that to be kind of a helpful indication in battle. Damage numbers, stacking and floating. I used to have it on floating, and the advantage of that is it shows one number for each damage event. So the advantage of that is it does actually show where your shots are registering, so if you're hitting the lower body, your bullets won't do as much damage, so you'll know exactly where your shots are landing, registering on the target. Personally, I used to have it on floating, and now I choose stacking because it's more accumulated damage and it feels more satisfying. I like to more so see my overall damage, so I prefer stacking, but it's preference. Ping opacity, of course, you want your pings to be as clear as possible. Minimap rotation, you want to have off. Weapon auto cycle and empty, you want to have this off. You should learn to know when to switch weapons automatically in a gunfight, so it's not really a good habit to keep on. Auto sprint, again, I have off because I like to maybe walk when I'm approaching area, maybe there's enemies, you know, they want to hit my footsteps as well, so you can manually sprint essentially. Double tap sprint off, don't really see the need for this. Incoming damage feedback, 2D, I don't think there's any need for it to be 3D. I don't like to have too much going on screen with incoming damage feedback, so we can just leave that at 2D. It does the job of informing as well enough. Taking damage closes the death box menu. Okay, whatever you do guys, you want to have this off. So for example, maybe if you want to get an armor swap in, this is like very detrimental if you want to get an armor swap in, having this option on, because right before you're about to get it, if you take a shot, it'll close it and you won't be able to get that armor swap in. Up, you want to have this as on, because off drop, a lot of the times I don't actually see what I pick up, so I like to know if I've actually got my hop up on the weapon I've got. So yeah, it's more ideal, you know, you can see it along with the other attachments. Streamer mode, again, this is personal preference, you can set it to how you like. Anonymous mode, similarly, again with streamer mode, personal preference to be honest. Usage sharing, I feel like EA has enough info to be honest, so I put this to disabled, especially since I don't want anything interrupting my connection in game. Performance display, of course it goes without saying you want to have this on. You can see your packet loss, you can see your latency, and most importantly you can see your FPS. So if you're getting lag spikes and stuff, you can see whether it's because of FPS drops or connection or so on and so forth. So yeah, I like to keep a performance display on as it gives an indication to what's happening in game. Club invites, I don't like that stuff to pop up to be honest, but yeah, maybe some of you will find it flattering, so you can have this to enabled. Accessibility, okay guys, this is all preference, but what I will say is colorblind mode, every reticle is red more or less on the scopes by default, but if you do put it to Titanopeia for example, what it will do is it'll actually change the color of those to a brighter yellow color as opposed to the dark red. For a lot of people it's a lot easier to look at, but again it's personal preference, you guys can try it out, see what works for you. Mouse and keyboard, mouse sensitivity, mine is a 1.8 with a DPI of a 1750. Sensitivity is personal preference, just don't be surprised if it doesn't work for you. You need to fine tune and find your perfect sensitivity. Mouse acceleration, obviously you want to have that off. Mouse invert, maybe personal preference, but most of you are going to have it off. Lighting effects, personal preference. And yeah, these are basically my keybinds. Some of you might find these useful. For example, for my ult, I actually changed that to this top left below the escape button. I don't know, this fucking mustache key, whatever the fuck it is. You guys can adjust your keybinds and figure out what's good for you. Crouch you want to have on hold, so you can crouch strafe easier. Aim down sight. So ADS, you want to put that on hold. You get you in and out of ADS fire quicker in battle. And yeah, these are just the rest of my keybinds. You guys can copy them. Yeah, you guys can copy them, see what works for you, and yeah. Now for the video settings, for the most part this is where the performance and FPS boost increases. Display mode, of course, you want to have on full screen. If you have it on windowed mode, then your brightness and everything will just go messed up. Aspect ratio, 16:9, native is 1080p, but you can change it to a 16:10, and you can get stretch res, which, well, it gives the appearance of your game being stretched out more. It increases your FPS slightly, I think. Maybe I'll try again sometime in the future. You guys could try it and see how it works. So yeah, mine's 16:9 by 1080p, native. Brightness is going to depend on your monitor. Mine's 73, you guys can try it if it works, but it's personal preference again, to be honest. FOV, again, personal preference. Mine's 102. I used to play on 110 and I did well on 110, but I like to put it on 102, but at the same time I like to feel fast paced, so that's why I won't put it all the way down to 90. 102 I fine tuned as the perfect setting for me, so I might actually make a video on an FOV guide. You guys could try 102, see if it doesn't work, but again it's personal preference. Is this sprint view shake, so you want to have that to minimal so you can see everything as clear as possible. Now for the graphic settings more particularly, VSync you want to have off because this will cap your FPS to your monitor refresh rate. And video reflex, I'm pretty sure this is a new option that came as of season 8. You only have this on enabled and boost. This can actually decrease your input latency by about 10 milliseconds depending on the graphics card you have. Adaptive resolution 0, anti-aliasing none. Texture streaming budget, we're going to get to this in a minute. Texture filtering bilinear, ambient occlusion quality off, sun shadow coverage low, sun shadow detail low, spot shadow detail disabled, volumetric lighting disabled, dynamic spot shadows disabled, model detail low, effects detail low, impact marks disabled, ragdolls low. Now guys, most of this if you disabled, I guarantee you the majority won't even notice when you have all this disabled. I mean, I have everything, even the texture streaming budget, I have everything to low. I think Apex still looks like a beautiful game for me. When it comes to textures and stuff, this is the only stuff you're really going to start to notice and the difference in the graphical quality. But yeah, for most of this, of course, you just want to have off for that maximum performance and FPS increase. Your FPS drops are like, they're a bitch and you want to avoid them at all costs. But what I will say is, I know a lot of people are going to get horny about it because they might not like how it looks on these settings. So if you are one of those people, one thing you can do is you can put texture streaming budget up. What texture streaming budget will do, it'll increase the sharpness and the details of some of the visual environments, and especially on your character hands, you know, when you can see it in front of you on your gun, the gun detail. What you don't want to do is have it on a low or medium, because the lower the texture streaming budget you have, the longer textures take to load essentially. So you want to have this on at least about high or very high, so 6 or 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Again, this might take a little bit of hit on your FPS, it'll lower it a bit, but again, that's if you're really fussy about how the game looks and you want a little bit of a visual quality increase. But yeah, other than that, I play with it off so I can get that maximum performance increase. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. And finally, the audio settings. Master volume, I like to have this on 100%. Fine tune this for personal preference. Incoming voice chat volume. A lot of people have mics from Poundland, so I like to have this on 100. All this I put to 100 so I can hear everything properly. Sound in the background, I have this to on. You can turn it off. Basically what it'll do is if you alt tab, you minimize, you won't be able to hear the lobby music, for example. The reason I have it on is if I minimize in game, then I start hearing gunshots, and of course, suddenly you get back into game to see what's going on. Play incoming text to speech. Again, this is a personal preference. If you don't like using the text feature, similar to convert incoming voice to chat text, you can enable these. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my settings, guys. That's, you know, for gameplay, for my mouse and keyboard settings, my sensitivity and my keybinds, my graphical settings and my audio settings. This is essentially what I believe to be the best settings as of season 8. Ever since I've been playing Apex, I fine-tuned this to be like as perfect as it can be. Each one of these settings I fine-tuned. A lot of them personal preference, a lot of them what I believe to be the best. And yeah, I feel like a lot of these settings have helped me like improve my gameplay a lot. And not only that, but helped increase my performance of my game a lot, my FPS and stuff, and just made my gameplay overall and more enjoyable and smooth experience and competitive when I need it to be. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my settings and what I believe to be the best settings as of Apex Legends in Season 8. But that was it for the video, guys. I hope this did help you guys out a lot, and if you did enjoy the video, please subscribe and do drop a like. That would help me out where I am in my journey right now a lot. I will see you all in the next one. Take care.